Vertical transport system has been having an array of technological advances as well as research and development. So much so that international reports even talk about spacecraft being replaced by elevators. But what are the features that elevator manufacturers have provided real estate developers of villas, luxury villas, as well as independent homemakers? Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Sudhakara of Nibav Lifts. They are one of the major players in South India, and today we are going to talk about all the special features that we have with Nibav elevators. Thank you so much, Mr. Sudhakara, for being with us.
Thank you, Mr. Nair.
To begin with, let me ask you the most pertinent question that most real estate developers as well as independent home builders would talk about or ask you. What is different with Nibav Lifts? Because when our editorial team was doing research on your company, it was quite different from the rest of the players in the market. And that's what is of interest to most of our readers as well as our viewers. Can you tell us how does Nibav differ from the other players in the market?
As a company, Nibav offers pneumatic vacuum elevator technology. It's a pitless, we don't require any pit. So on the normal flooring, we can place this elevator, just like a candle placing on the table. So this elevator does not require any shaft, machine room, headroom. So with almost zero civil requirement, we will be able to install this elevator.
Okay.
And the elevator has a capacity of 210 kg. That means 2% can comfortably go in this. And the outer body is made up of glass, complete transparent view will be there. So that means the traveler will not feel any kind of claustrophobic feeling.
Sorry. And
this elevator runs on single phase electricity. Normally the elevator requires a license. If it is running on a 3-phase electricity, it requires a license. But our elevator runs on a single phase. It does not require any sort of approval from the electricity department.
Wow.
And the power consumption is just 3.7 kilowatts. So the exciting part is that it consumes power only when the cabin is moving up. That means every time the cabin comes down, it consumes zero power.
Mr. Sudhakara, the point is that elevators are big guzzlers of power in any real estate projects. That will be even independent house or whatever. But actually, when you talk about low power consumption, it makes a huge difference for the end user in the long run.
Right.
And now I can't resist the temptation of asking, how can developers or even independent homeowners install solar power to power your lift? Is it possible?
Definitely it is possible. So the customers who are planning to have a solar power, they can just have a dedicated 5 kVA. So the actual power consumption is just 3.7 kilowatt, but we recommend them to put having a 5 kVA of dedicated power if they are planning for a solar backup.
Okay.
So as I already said, this elevator consumes power only when the cabin is going up. Every time the cabin comes down, there is no power consumption. And also just to tell you roughly, suppose in a day they are using the elevator for about 9 to 10 times in a day, the maximum power consumption, the monthly electricity bill would hardly come within 100 rupees. That's all.
I see.
Most of the elevator requires a backup generator. This elevator does not require any sort of backup generator. So
not as
auxiliary power also, not even require auxiliary power. Without any auxiliary power, without any backup generator, the cabin comes to the ground floor mechanically.
Okay. I would also like to ask you this about, it's essentially being powered by air, right?
Yes.
And a low consumption of power, electricity. Is there any height restrictions for this?
So yeah, we do. We can take up to G+3 maximum. The travel height wise, we can do up to 13.5 meters.
G+3 essentially would mean that it would cover entire villa.
Yeah.
All the villa ranges, right?
Yes. Some of the cases we come across in a situation, some customer will have G+4. We can install for G+4 also, provided any compromising any stop in the middle.
Okay. Oh, I see. See, one thing which I found very interesting about the products that you have listed in your website is that it has got complete glass enclosure.
Yes.
Right. It reminds me of those James Bond movies where you have a lot of James Bond tamasha going on in elevators,
Yes.
shootouts, and
Yes.
it looks so bloody elegant, when it moves up. And even in large real estate projects like hotels,
True.
star hotels, you find that. Is that one of your biggest attraction in terms of home elevators?
This is one of our attraction because it's a complete 360-degree panoramic view they will get.
Yep.
It's not a normal glass, it's a polycarbonate. Polycarbonate is something which is used for making bulletproof glasses. If you shoot at the same spot 3 times or 4 times, then only the glass will break. That much strength
So it is essentially made for James Bond.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. But when you talk about end user, especially the millennial, homeowners who are now largely in the market today. One of the bank's home loan, I think it was HDFC or some other bank, which said that today the age of home loan people who go for home loans have come down to the millennials. So is there any particular change in their attitude or their demands in terms of elevators, especially for villas and independent homes?
Definitely, many millennials are thinking like nowadays there is huge awareness about the green building.
Yep.
So and many millennials are thinking about green, something related to green, like very.
Correct.
So not much pollution to the environment and low power consumption. So less carbon, which produces less carbon and environment friendly kind
Absolutely.
of thing. So ours is exactly the same kind of product. It does not require any oil or lubrication, and the power consumption wise, as I already told, it's very less. It consumes very less of power.
Okay.
So definitely we are seeing the change in the like millennials are expecting the green kind of elevator. So that kind of switch we are seeing in the market.
Many developers both in Bangalore, Chennai, and as well as in Mumbai and Pune.
True.
They often tell us that the millennials have actually changed the game for green products.
Very right.
First of all, they are well traveled. They go abroad at very young age. They come back learning about so many new features in various building accessories and all that, and they ask for those kind of things in India. So when you talk about green buildings, earlier it used to be that only office buildings would be green. Home buildings, residential real estate would never be green. That used to be the trend about, I think, 10-15 years ago.
True.
But now things have completely changed. So it actually, substantiates your point that millennials would demand for such,
Correct.
isn't it? Okay, now let me also ask you one question which I never fail to ask many developers or rather accessories industry in Bangalore, and that is when real estate builders, villas and all that, they always say that, especially villas, they say that every city has got its own characteristics.
Okay.
Real estate, end buyer, end user in Chennai would insist on a very traditional building, traditional construction, brick and mortar, everything traditional. Okay. But when it comes to Bangalore, which is just about how many kilometers? 300?
350.
350 kilometers. Here it is exactly the opposite. The end user would ask for the latest technologies in construction, accessories, building material, everything, including building equipment also. They would want to know what are you using, which are the equipment that you use and that kind of a thing. So do you see that kind of trend in your business also when you talk about end users in various cities like in South India?
So obviously we are seeing that because Bangalore, as you already know, it welcomes for the new technology, new trend. Always they expect the new things. So they are very adaptive when they are the new beginners. Like whenever new things comes, Bangalore welcomes that.
Absolutely.
So we are facing that, like even our technology for Indian market especially. So it's a new technology, and we are seeing a lot of many customers are showing very much interest in our product.
And what are the differences in, if you can pinpoint some differences in customers' behavior in various cities in South India? Have you noticed any such changes?
So in South India, as we right now discuss, when we go to Chennai, so definitely they ask for traditional kind of technologies, and like in Bangalore, it's a completely different.
Okay.
They want everything to be new.
Absolutely. Okay.
So
That is given. Okay.
Even if you consider within Karnataka also, if you go to so coastal part of Karnataka, Mangalore and all, so they are, even though they are aware about the technology and the benefit, they still want to stick with the older technology only until and unless we have a direct presence over there.
Oh, okay. So it's not just interstate, it's also
With other
intrastate.
state, yeah.
Right? Oh, I see. Okay, sir. Then that would actually lead to the next question, that is about the kind of installation that you have. Now, you actually do it in CKD, that's completely knocked down. Now, in that case, how does it ensure quality?
So since the product comes in a semi-assembled condition from the factory, so we will be able to complete the installation in just 24 hours.
You have your own manufacturing?
Yes, we have our manufacturing plant in Chennai.
Okay.
So it comes in a semi-assembled from the factory. All that we do is just to bring the material and assemble it. So it ensures the installation as per the manufacturer's.
Before you continue, where all do you distribute your products in India?
So we are present all over India. So each and every state we cover.
Okay.
So we have our direct marketing office as well as the after service team. We don't outsource. We have our in-house technicians who will be looking after sales as well.
Yeah, you were talking about how how did
so installation, since the product comes in a semi-assembled from the factory, so we will be able to complete the installation within 24 hours. So that ensures the installation has been taken place as per the manufacturer's standard, and also it ensures the quality of the installation.
And I would dare to ask you that it also means that your installation is more or less in terms of what they call it, Lego kind of installation methods.
Lego means
those kids play with Lego, that you have those building
toy kind of
toys.
So yeah, we have some of the customers, like when kids come, especially for the experience, when they come for the experience center. So kids, the moment they see the elevator, they start playing with,
part of it. Okay.
Before we start the demonstration, they start playing with the elevator. So it's kids friendly also. So the kids can start playing with that.
Okay. Now, because there is no power backup and battery, how does the end user react to it in terms of their planning and their outlook on how things are going to be? Because I guess it's not my guess actually, there is a study which says that most of the homeowners today, independent homeowners, are building their units for the senior citizens more than themselves, and many of them actually are staying abroad. Their parents are staying here because their parents don't want to go away from their place of origin, and that also would mean that many of the homeowners would want your kind of elevators. So can you also tell us about how things have changed or how things are panning out in terms of the market development for elders and the senior citizens?
So if you see just 10 years back, so nobody had thought about the elevator having in the home. So nowadays it has become more like a necessity. Our elevator is something like more than 50%, 60% of the inquiries we get for the existing houses, wherein the old people, they already built a home and they have not provided any provision for the lift. So with minimal civil modification, or we should say with almost zero civil modification, if they have a clear space of 1 meter in diameter, we can have the elevator installed.
Okay.
So those kind of customers, definitely we are the first choice for them, because without modifying any with their existing houses, we'll be able to do the installation. So we are seeing many customers are preferring our elevator because of that reason.
It's only for that reason?
Not just that reason, that is one of the reasons.
Oh, okay. And what other reasons would that be?
So it is more compact. Like if you consider the space utilization, the normal conventional elevator.
That's a big thing, especially when land prices are so high.
Very true. So if you consider the per square feet in JP Nagar itself, it's about 15,000, 16,000. So the conventional elevator, in order to get a cabin space of around 3 feet by 3 feet, they have to leave by 5 feet by 5 feet of cabin, like clear space. That's almost about 25 square feet. In our case, it's just 10 square feet. So within 10 square feet of space, we will be able to install. So that is one of our advantage, and the space utilization wise, it is 90% space utilization. You give around 3 feet 4 inches of space, we will be able to give the cabin space of almost 3 feet, 90% space utilization. But it is not the same case in the case of conventional elevator. If the customer giving 5 feet by 5 feet, the end user will hardly get the cabin space of around 3 feet by 3 feet. So it's about 45 to 50% of the space utilization.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see.